is tradition. Those of you who are new to the channel will know that the live streams never used to start on time, although recently I've been fairly early. I've been doing pretty well in recent times, but today we are unfortunately running to 11:05, and that is because I just had to check my print. Now, I have a new printer. It's an Anycubic X6KS, and it is currently the absolute bane of my life. So it's still not working properly. I don't know what's going on with it. However, I prepared for failure. Is it preparing for failure? Is failing to prepare is preparing for failure, or something like that? Well, in this case, I did indeed prepare for my print being not as successful as I would have liked. I needed to print 4 twin las cannons for my Dark Angels army, so I put 8 on the plate, and only 6 of them seem to be printing. But that's okay, because I only need 4. But it's still annoying that the other 2 are not printing. But there you go. Well, hello and welcome to the live stream. Now you can see spread before you a smorgasbord of. You can tell I've been researching the Swedish recently. Or that Danish, I don't know. But you can see a plethora of different goodies. Now this arrived yesterday. These are my Temu loot. Now Temu, for those of you who never saw the really annoying adverts, is a Chinese company that do a lot of stuff. So a bit like AliExpress or Shein or any of those kind of things. This is what Temu does. Now they do quite a lot of Napoleonic stuff. I have ordered some, so you don't have to, and I thought we would go through it and see what it's like. Check the quality against the price. Now, the reason that I put this order in is because I wanted to order a big poster for a colleague of mine at work, and I have to say that it was similar to this one, but nowhere near as good. So that's actually had to have been thrown in the bin, which is a bit of a shame. But there was like a minimum spend that you had to spend. So because of that, I thought I've seen all this loot, so I'll get some and I will I'll review it on the channel. So what I thought we would start off with is the one that is a particular favorite of mine, and that is this poster here. Now this is A4 size. Let me find something that is also A4 size. This piece of paper is A4 size. So yeah, you can see it's exactly the same size as A4. Anyone who wonder what that was, that's a set of First World War naval rules, which is very, very good, actually. I have backed all of their Kickstarters. So this is Your Emperor Needs You. Obviously a riff on the old Your Country Needs You poster. Quite ironic, really. I thought it was pretty cool. Now, it's actually metal. So if any of you have seen displays or adverts for it, then this is basically one of those. Now it's a bit battered. It was delivered in a bag. It wasn't very well packaged at all. But that's the plate. I think it's pretty cool, actually. I think that's going to go well in the painting room. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see it's a little blurred. Now this is one of the problems that these Temu things are having, is that in this case it's not my camera that needs a clean. It is in fact that it's a bit blurred, and that is because these are very small files that have been embiggened, to quote Jebediah Springfield. They've been enlarged to A4 size, so it's a bit of a shame, but I think it's pretty cool. From a distance, you can't tell that it's blurry. I like that. I think that's pretty nifty. As I say, it's only A4 sized, so it's not going to cover the whole thing, but you can hear this metal. No, I think that's pretty cool. I'm pretty pleased with that. This one was this is what I was looking for before. Metal. Let's have a look. What are we going for? This was now this one I did push the boat out a little bit, so prepare your wallets for this one. This one was £3.76, so around about $5 or €4.20, something like that. So yes, that was This was a real boat pusher, this one. So yeah, for £3, oh well, £4, I think that was pretty cool. Now next up is this here. Now they do a full range of soft furnishing accessories. I didn't quite think I'd get away with a full bedspread, although secretly that's what I want. But I went for a cushion cover instead. Who doesn't love cushions? Even the women in our lives we can persuade to get cushions. And this is that. It's the flag of the 18th. Sorry, of the 45th Line Regiment. I can tell that because it says 45th. I don't know why I said 18th. I think this is pretty cool. Now, feelings-wise, this is 100% polyester, which I don't like the feeling of. But I think, you know, when it's on a cushion, I think that's going to be pretty cool. The colours are pretty vibrant. I don't know how long they're going to last if you wash it. I probably don't wash my cushion covers as much as I should do. So I think that's going to last a pretty long time. It doesn't feel nice. So it's, yeah. But no, that's going to be okay. I'm not going to be reclining on it naked. So that's fine. What a horrible image that is. And finally, this here. Now, this is, of course, the capturing of the colour by Sergeant Hewitt. And this is printed on canvas. Now, you can see around here, there's a little border. So that will need trimming if I frame it. Ideally, it would be framed on without glass, because it's on canvas, so it's got that like little sheen to it anyway. Now this one's very nice. I'm going to zoom in on Sergeant Hewitt himself. You see, it's very clear. There's none of the blurring that there was on the Emperor Needs You tin poster. The horses like spittles coming out really nice. That's been recreated. Looking over here, we've got the details on the horse, really nice. So yeah, no, I think this is I think this is actually pretty cool. Now, price wise, the cushion cover. Let's see how much that one was. Napoleonic. To be honest, I thought it was a whole cushion. I didn't think it was just a cushion cover. But that's not the end of the world. That one was, different regiments are available. You can get the Grenadier Apede. It's actually cheaper than getting this one. And that one will set you back, if you want to go for the Grenadiers Apede, that will cost you £3.36. So again, around about $5. Or you can go for the more expensive 85th Regiment. That's going to cost you £4.13. So about $5.50. So I don't think you can go wrong with that. You can have a Napoleon's portrait on there as well. That's quite a cool one. They basically put anything on there. And the Scotland Forever. Well, it's not Scotland Forever, is it? The capture of the colour by Sergeant Hewitt. Picture on canvas. Now it's actually on canvas. It feels quite rugged. It's quite thick and nice. This one was. You have Luke. Well, I can't find this one specifically, but Scotland Forever, the famous Lady Butler one, that's the same size, and that one is £3.71. So basically, I got the cushion cover, the canvas picture, and my metal recruitment poster. This was the grand sum of £11. So less than $15, certainly less than €15, about 13 or 14 euros. And I think an absolute bargain. So if you want to kit out your gaming space or your painting area or something like that, then I think these are absolutely perfect for doing that. Now, one thing I would say is if I turn it over, it might be a bit clearer. You can see how lined it is. The way it was packaged was terrible. This at least had a foam roll in the middle, but it's horribly creased. So it's going to need flattening out. So I'm actually going to pop it under these carpet tiles when I've finished. But yeah, so just be aware the packaging is not great. I showed you back on here. Let's see if I can see it again. Yeah, you can see there's a big bulge there in the tin, and a dent there, and a bulge there. So that obviously is on the other side. Now, to be honest, you can't notice it on the front. I think that's okay. But yeah, no, I thought for a tenner from Winnie the Pooh, I don't think there's absolutely anything wrong at all with this stuff. I did hear that they're putting their prices up because of the threats of the tariffs. I don't know if that applies to the UK and Europe or just the United States, but I mean, even if they double their prices, 20 quid, I don't think it's too bad at all. So there we go. Right, let's have a look at the comments. Hello, everyone. I've not said hello. Here we got Mittens. Hello, Tom. Hello. The cushion cover does look very good. However, Mittens I associate with being a cat, so don't be clawing it, because yeah, you'll pull all the stuff. Hello, Clive. You work with two descendants of Sergeant Hewitt. Very cool. Is that yeah, no, it won't be up at Edinburgh Castle, will it? Well, I don't know. That's all right, David. It'll be immortalized on YouTube forever. So don't worry if you miss a bit of it live. What's going on? Sorry, guys, I'm having issues with the camera there. What a pain in the balls. Right, okie dokie. They live in Langholm in Scotland. Ah, fair enough. I went to a Lord of the Rings event at the weekend, and I accidentally set my country to Scotland. So, because it just said United Kingdom, I didn't see that it said United Kingdom - Scotland. I want to point out there was no, in fact, no, there was United Kingdom - England. But the reason I kept it on Scotland was twofold. One, the boys had taken the piss out of me already, so I may as well just keep it on there. And secondly, and most importantly, everyone else there was English, so they had like a little England flag next to their name. So when looking to find out what the draw was, I could just scroll down, look for the one flag that wasn't the Cross of St. George, and that was me. So there you go. So that's being an outsider was very useful for me. So today I thought we would do something a little bit different. Now I haven't. Well, I say something a little bit different. I thought we'd look at five. Well, I guess it is different because we're actually going to finish some figures off. Now, normally it's just the endless painting that we see on the channel here, but these are some figures I've been working on for quite a while now. These are the Victrix Household Cavalry. Now, as you can see, these have been painted as the lifeguards, and that is what we're going to do. Sorry, I'm getting everything caught up in the wire here. Unfortunately, my camera was supposed to be on charge, but the port is a bit dodgy. It got moved and it stopped charging. So it's I was hoping to do a full 90 minutes today. I'm drip feeding it some charge now, so hopefully we'll be able to do a little bit longer. Sorry, I was hoping to do 2 hours. I'm looking, it might end up being about 90 minutes. It depends on how the battery in the camera holds out. But yeah, so these are the Victrix Household Cavalry. As you can see, the horses are mostly done. That's the officer. He's not finished yet, so we won't be doing him today. And the bugler, he's not finished either because I hate musicians. But here we go. So these are they. That's the bugler's grey horse. Do buglers wear greys? They ride greys? They certainly do in my army, that's for sure. So we've got the horses ready to go, and we've got the cavalrymen ready to go as well. So these are they. What we're going to do today is we are going to get them off the sprues onto the horses, and hopefully we're going to get most of the heads done and glued on as well. Now the arms I've kept separate because I've got 2 boxes and I've done the other ones as the blues. So let's get the lifeguard done first. If we get time, we'll do the blues, and then we will go back and do the limbs. But first off, I need to find some clipperoonies. Here we go. Now, these ones are TT Combat clippers, and I have to say, they are far and away the best clippers I've ever used. They are very, very good. Oh, now these boots haven't been done, have they? Yeah, that's annoying. Luckily, I brought up some paint. So let's crack on with some boots. We'll get them done, and then we are good to go. So let's have a splash of Vassar. Currently painting some Gordons. Excellent. I think a few covers for the gaming room couch with flags for various factions one collects would look great. Yeah, absolutely. Sort of want some. Never thought of something like that. Yeah, no, it's Temu's really good for stuff like that. It's weird the kind of stuff that you can get from there, but yeah, no, they do all sorts of stuff. It's it's a good way to while away an evening while there's nothing good on the telly. They're just looking through the weird and random stuff that they've got on there. Good morning all, just finished some gardening, so time to paint some French. Very good. Early morning painting session, checking just before work. Well, that's very, thank you for being here, Lost Heretics. Nice to have you along, buddy. Does anyone know of any 1812 French line command that would work with Perry plastics? Well, obviously the Perrys do their own metals as well. The Warlord Games ones, they would fit in. If you didn't want to use Warlord, you could potentially look at potentially Eureka, I would suggest, or also check out a company called Offensive Miniatures. Now they do some really nice minis. Front Rank are a little bit big. Gripping Beast now sell Front Rank, so yeah, you can get them from there. They're a little big. Wargames Foundry, which is also sculpted by the Perrys, they're a little bit small, so I would probably not go for those. But yeah, if people have got any suggestions in the comments, then feel free to put them out there. Now, I'm noticing actually there's quite a lot on these that hasn't been done. I thought they were a lot closer to being finished than they are, but never mind. We will persevere. I want to get these on the horses today, even if that means painting them on the horses. We've painted the areas such as around here and things like that the horses didn't get in the way of. The belt buckle, we've not painted those yet, so let's do those before we get them on the horse. Piano War Games, yes, very much so. Yeah, they're a little bit slimmer, but they're yeah, they're absolutely fine. You can mix them in, no problem at all. Were regiments did any of the cavalry in the Napoleonic Wars use horses of one colour? Oh, well, the Scots Greys famously rode all greys. Now, there is some debate about how realistic that was. But, you know, we play war games. Everyone's wearing full uniform. Their battalions are full of men who are willing to march and fight and die. So how realistic is it really anyway? So Scots Greys certainly rode all greys. The French Carabineers, they rode blacks. The Grenadier à Cheval also rode blacks, as did the Chevalier, Garde de Chevalier for the Russians. Now, in the Waterloo campaign, the Grenadier à Cheval specifically didn't all ride blacks because they didn't have enough. So the first dibs actually went to the horses for black horses. First dibs went to the artillery of the Imperial Guard. So they would almost certainly have had all black horses. But the Grenadier à Cheval probably didn't. Now, it was very common in peacetime for most French regiments in particular to have a different coloured horses per squadron. So you would have, the first squadron would have one coloured horse, the second squadron a different coloured horse. Now, I don't know if there were specific colours for specific squadrons, but realistically, that begins to break down very quickly. You might get away with it in 1805. Certainly anything after certainly after 1812, but probably before. If it had 3 or more legs and 8 grass, then it would go into a cavalry regiment. So yeah, certainly on the continental armies. For the British, maybe they were a little bit more uniform, particularly for like the Guard, because they weren't used as heavily. But yeah, by and large, I would suggest that if a unit is quote supposed to have a certain color of horses, then just do them like that, and to damned with the historical difficulty of actually having that on the battlefield. Full uniform. You haven't seen my Confederate. That is full uniform for Confederates. In their bushwhacking slacks. Now I do like the Confederates for that. Actually, I bought the Perry's plastic starter box, so I bought a new one, and then I bought one off eBay. I think I got it for about 30 quid. It was a real steal. The guy had painted them all as Confederates, but he'd done them all in the butternut. That was obviously his thing, which was cool. But I'm like, I mean, if you're doing American Civil War, for me, I want the blue and the grey. So I'll have to get round to repainting them at some point. I do have a fully painted Union Army that has seen action once as Union and once as incredibly historically inaccurate Boshin. Is it Boshin War? Where they fought the Satsuma Rebellion. But yeah, they were fighting the samurai anyway. For some real Last Samurai vibes. The 1st, 2nd Life Guards and Royal Horse Guards were mounted on Irish backs. Yeah, Irish horses were considered to be the best in the world, actually. I can say that with some authority because when researching my video on General Platov, who was the commander of the Cossacks, he actually shipped Irish blacks back to, I don't know if they were blacks, just Irish horses, back to increase the breeding stock of his Cossack horses. And if a Cossack wants your horses because they're better than his, then does anyone know horses better than the Cossacks? I would argue probably not. with the possible exception of the Irish. Confederates are fun to paint, but take twice as long as the Union. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I painted Union. It's that mechanicalized process for the Union, man. But no, the Confederacy certainly has the romance stakes, I think, over the Union. A bit like the old Cavaliers and the Roundheads. Whilst my heart follows the Roundheads, the Cavaliers are definitely where it's at. Yeah, Piano Wargames mittens, absolutely, I would go 100% large. In fact, I'm certain I'll be able to do a comparison before we finish today. So I'll just crack on with these for now, and then we will get the old piano games out. I was going to do my Piano Wargames Italians, but I thought we'll have a little bit of a break from them. I'll do these guys instead, and then we can crack on with the Italians back again on Wednesday. Said with authority due to back in Heritage Oldham. Oh mate, they're all Irish. There are a few English horse trainers, but or horse owners. There's quite a few, but you'll tend to find most of the trainers and certainly the jockeys are Irish. The Simpsons did an episode where Bart becomes a jockey and all the jockeys are leprechauns. It was it's a wild episode. It's quite a good one actually. Yeah. When you paint the epic with New Warlord resin, do you wash them as you do plastic? Well, I don't wash plastic. I probably should do, to be honest. I would recommend that you do wash the resin. Now, I am a hypocrite by saying that because I very rarely do. But yes, I probably would. If I'm sort of giving out advice, I would say yes. If I was being honest, I would say I probably don't bother myself, but I know I should. So I'm looking at these. I'm sure I've done more on them than this. I wonder if that's the blues that I've done more on. So we'll finish off doing the boots and cartridge pouches on these, and then I'll empty out the blues. I'm looking at them now through the bag. No, I haven't done. No. Okay, fair enough. These are nicer, and I'm combining them with some. Well, Clive, who's in the chat, he is actually. Many of you will not realise this. You are in the presence of a male model himself, the Napoleonic equivalent to Derek Zoolander, because there was a Kickstarter for British Cavalry, which I backed after I'd bought the units from Victrix. There you go. And they had a model based on a photograph of him. Clive's a reenactor of the Horse Guards as well, and I have to say it's very dashing. I've got it here. So when he does the blue steel, then there's that's I think he should give like cause fear in the enemy, because he's doing blue steel as they're charging in. If I had to play a period other than Napoleonics, what would it be and why? Well, I mean, I play no other periods whatsoever than Napoleonics. I am. Yeah, nah, I can't even finish that sentence. I play way too many periods. Way too many. I'm a big fan of Cold War. That's a big period I like. But my ultimate favorite period is actually Ancients. Apart from Napoleonics, obviously. Napoleonics is number one. But yeah, it's actually Ancients. Specifically, it's something that Dan Carlin calls historical estuaries, which is where, so an estuary is where the river meets the sea. You've got like a mix of salt water and fresh water, so it's not quite either. And that's what he means when he says historical estuaries. I think is a really good time. He was a journalist before he was a podcaster, so that's where he gets his skills from. But yeah, so those historical estuaries in the ancient world where a new order was arising. So, for instance, the Second Punic War has always been a favourite of mine since playing like Rome Total War. It's even before then, really. So yeah, the Punic Wars, the mid Roman Republic, I'm a big fan of. I like the late Roman Republic as well. The Trojan Wars, I'm really interested in the Trojan Wars. That's the rise of well, it's pre-Iron Age, but it's sort of the very early rise of Greece with all the city-states and things like that. And the Assyrians, I'm a big fan of the Assyrians. Not something not something that you could say usually. They were very unpleasant people, but their military is absolutely fascinating. El Cid, I'm doing a lot of research into El Cid at the moment. In fact, I'm hoping to go to Andalusia at the end of the year, so I'm really looking forward to that. World War II, I'm just about to start embarking on my painting my Japanese army for Bolt Action version 3, which I have to say I've got some reservations about, but I'm looking forward to playing some games with my brother. What else do I play? First of all, there's a Kickstarter for 1918 at the moment, which I'm perilously close to backing, but I'm not sure if I will. So yeah, is there other periods I play? Yes, is the answer to that. Which ones? Yes, is the answer to that one as well. Basically all of them. So yeah, no. I've also started looking into ultra modern as well. There's a company who sell STLs. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but they do a lot of special forces teams. They do like little Cayuse helicopters to bring them in and stuff like that. So I've got a few of their files to print, and that looks quite interesting as well. So yeah, no, a bit of everything. Way too much. I would be much better focusing down on one or two periods, I think. What I tend to do at the moment is I'll have an event I'm going to, but except the Emu Wars. I did see at the Joy of Six a few years ago, they had the Emu Wars demonstration game. That was someone does like 6mm emus, but they do them with like radio headsets on and stuff. It's absolutely hilarious. It's really is my sense of humor. Yeah. No, the Emu Wars are absolutely wild. He did. I'm not sure he was super serious about it, but he did recommend that they use them in war. But yeah, no, I'm not entirely certain how serious he was about that. But apparently, they could take like 2 or 3 brain gun rounds and just carry on going because they're so stupid. They could be like mortally wounded and not know that they'd been mortally wounded, which I guess is. I mean, yeah, I could make a Donald Trump joke there just purely for the bounce, but I'm not going to. I'm going to rise beyond that. So yeah, maybe Well, I don't know. Maybe if I do ultra modern, I could be doing the invasion of Greenland. You never know. I love it. It's absolutely wild. It's back this year. All right, okay. Well, I'll check it out then. These models with no heads. They are for the Silver Bayonet. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I do actually have a model with me for the Silver Bayonet. I was going to review him, but I can't remember where he's from. I think it's Dark Heresy. I was going to look him up during a tea break because he is without doubt one of the most detailed printed models I have ever seen. And I'm like, this is for Silver Bayonet. He has had far, far too much effort has gone into this model for the Silver Bayonet. But he's like a French general who's a vampire. It's if you were to remove the head and replace it with a real soldier's head, it'd be absolutely awesome. It's a beautiful model. He's sort of doing the "I'll get you next time" He-Man pose though, so I'm not sure how many French generals did that. In my head, they all did that when Sharp had foiled them once again, but I don't think it's a historically accurate French martial pose. Italians from piano quite as a piano. Well, there you go. Yeah, it does. Sunny but cool winds from the north in western France. I'll tell you what, it's cold here. It's not sunny either. The clouds are nice and fluffy though. They're cumulus clouds, which is quite nice. But they are blocking out the sun a little bit. I've got some models curing as well, so I hope there's a little bit of sun comes through. But yes, no, it's very cold here as well. So cold and wet in Ohio. Okay. I've always fancied visiting Ohio. It kind of is obviously it used to be a big industrial play or areas of it, I suppose, and that's very similar to where I'm from in England. We're a former steel city, not anymore. So I've always thought that Ohio. I think there's an area of Ohio called Hillsborough as well. I think, which is where I live in Sheffield. I don't know if it's named after the Hillsborough because of the steel, but Sheffield steel was famous the world over. Happy Bank Holiday Monday, Venom Geek Media. James, this may be a silly question because painting on sprues is clever, but how do you clean them up? So, well, I shall show you because we're hoping to clip them off the sprues and put them on the horses in a bit. But as you can see from this one, I'll do a quick look. He's connected by the top of the head. He's connected by the inside of the feet. So they're actually areas you're not going to see. That's going to be the top of the neck, sorry. That's going to be replaced. That's going to be covered with the head. This is going to be against the horse's flanks. It might need a little bit of a touch-up. But once I use these side clippers, it'll get in there. There shouldn't be much sticking around. If there is, I can use a knife on it. Then I'll just quickly dab them with the black. But it gives me something to hold whilst I'm painting. So I can have them here. I'm not actually touching the model. That's why I like painting on the sprue. But it's a controversial thing. A lot of people back in the early days, I used to get a load of grief for painting on the sprue actually, but not so much these days. I'll just destroy the room while I'm here. Bear with me 1 second. Right, so that's all the oh, I say it's all the cartridge pouches done. It's not, because there's one looking at me at the moment. James, love the channel from Australia. Very nice. Getting into the point, bought my Digby Smith book. Well, I mean, is it possible to not buy a Digby Smith book? He is the doyen. No, it's all of his books, I think, are good stuff. Is there? Have I done his? This is when I'll do like 12 figures, and I'm going to do all the cartridge pouches, and I'll do 11 of them. There's always one that I've missed, and how, I don't know. There's always one. This is the little vignette I was saying earlier on with our man Clive. I think it's this one that's based on him, actually. From what I can recall of the photo, he still needs a bit of work on him. He needs touching up, as it were. Clive, no oi oi, but yeah, no, he's pretty cool. I'm pretty pleased with him. And this is that French general I was telling you about. This guy is, I mean, I'm not going to be able to show you on camera, unfortunately. But the reason I haven't painted finished him yet is here on his lapels. This lace is all modelled on as lace. I mean, I'm genuinely scared to paint it. So I might, I don't know. It really is a bit intimidating painting that one. But we'll get there. I can't put it off forever. So we will get there eventually. Now these guys here are. Oh, I see again. I missed a little bit on the inside of his leg there. This is terrible. Who painted these? They've done a terrible job. I wouldn't employ this guy. Good lord. Right. So what I also brought up though was some Agrax Earthshade, as I like to call it, liquid talent, and the bread bags are going to need doing with this. So that's what we're going for. A typical bank holiday in Bridlington. Cold, windy, and dull. Oh, well, that's no good. So is it absolutely heaving with tourists? So that's what we want. We want plenty of people there, even though it's a bit cold and drab. Hopefully, hopefully next month. Sorry, the next bank holiday, Spring Bank. Hopefully that'll be a bit better. Now, those of you who are in the UK may know that we are doing some VE Day celebrations today. So when we finished the live stream, make sure you get onto your iPlayer or something, because I think there's it's like the Trooping of the Colour. I'm not sure if it actually is the Trooping of the Colour, but there's going to be the Blues and Royals and the Lifeguard going down the Mall towards Buckingham Palace and all that good stuff. So a good bit of British military pageantry going on. I do wonder if they're going to do all this again for VJ Day. If I were a Japanese war veteran, I'd be a bit annoyed about all the stuff that VE Day gets, and VJ Day gets pretty much nothing. And I'm sure fighting against the Germans was no picnic, but I can absolutely guarantee fighting against the Japanese wasn't. And that's just the living conditions. That's before you even get into the peculiarities of fighting that opponent, as being in Burma or Singapore or Hong Kong or any of these places fighting. Imjin, anywhere like that. Yeah, no, Imjin? Was that? Or was that Korea? Might have been Korea. Incheon. Any of these places would... oh, yeah, no, I'm all right, thanks. V-Day's Thursday here. Yeah, I think it's Thursday here as well, but they're doing a parade today. So... does anyone know anyone who sells British West Indies troops? So you want the round hat for those guys. So you can use the worldwide troops from the Perry's range. Or you can buy the round hat heads that were originally produced by Victrix, but are now produced by Brigade Games. I suspect they were actually made by Brigade Games all the time, but they used to be sold by Victrix. You could buy those and glue those on Victrix bodies. They'll probably go on Perry's ones as well. Although, they might have separate head attachments, so you might get like 2 necks or no necks. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, no, you can say that. There's also Skytrex Miniatures do arrange for Haiti. So I don't know if they do British. I assume they do, but they are very big models. They're more like 30 mil models. They're nice though. I've got some of their Ottomans. I've got the Ottoman cadets, and they like tower over the Janissaries. So it's like, well, you know, fair enough. Emus don't fight fair. Well, I mean, they wouldn't, would they? You know, you can't headshot them when they've buried their heads in the sand, can you? So that's, yeah. I mean, yeah, we laugh at them, but maybe that's the top tactic. Emus and notoriously dirty fighters. Michael Parkinson. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anyone as unamused as Michael Parkinson when Rod Hull attacked him. Poor old Rod Hull, gone but not forgotten, what was I doing? Bread bags. Bread bags is what I'm doing. Now, I've not even painted them on the blues yet. In fact, all these horses, I've done them as a mixture. I think the blues I think they're all riding blacks. To go back to our earlier conversation. So what are people's summer plans? Have you got any big games organised or anything special? Any tournaments that you're going to, or weekenders, or the Wargames Holiday Centre, which is something that I'd love to go. I've not been there yet. General Dan and I are off to Waterloo next month, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to paying it, but yeah, so we've got that next month. How about anyone else? Anyone else got any wargaming related activities to look forward to in the summer? Right, that's the officer there, so he doesn't have a bread bag. He's got a man for that kind of thing. The joysticks, of course, David. How silly of me! I should have known. Yes. So, both gone. Rod Parky and Emu, presumably. I mean, I know he was a war veteran, but he can only last so long. I once heard a creepypasta. I really like creepypasta narrations, and because I think they're a really good way of people developing short stories and things like that. And it was about I think it was called something like "I was the last survivor of my unit" or something. I don't normally listen to military ones. This one was a guy who was like, he was in like a fort, and it was done to be like Beaugest or something like that. So he's in this like fort out in the desert, and you know, in the distance they see this like bloodied and battered survivor coming over the top of the hill. And so as it went on, I was like, this guy's about an emu, and it was about the great emu. Oh, it was absolutely hilarious. It was so funny. He ended up like winging this emu, which then became like his personal nemesis. Oh, it was absolutely hilarious. It was a great story. Oh, right. Okay. I'm still intimidated by this marshal. Let's have a look, though. I'm going to suck it up. Napoleonic French marshal. Let's have a look. Have a look at his uniform. Because I'm not sure whether everything that looks gold is going to be gold or not. Who have we got? Who's going to be my well, I've got Marshal Ney. Nah, I'll tell you what, let's go for Oudinot. He looks particularly spiffing in his marshal's outfit. Honestly, I cannot believe how detailed this model is. I really can't. So he's got like a waist sash on, as opposed to all the other places that you wear a sash. And it's quite thick, so I think this is all going to be gold. Let's start at the back and work our way around. But it looks like it's two different sashes, like one over the top of another one. So I may be wrong on that one, but let's go large anyway. This model's crazy. It's such a good model. I can't believe it. So whoever was asking about silver bayonet, this is indeed for the silver bayonet. So that's good. Right, now then. Here goes Dutton. So I'm using the side of the brush here, not the tip, but the side of the tip, just to bring out the gold details. Now, really, I should be using a darker gold here, because I'm not going to be able to wash this, because the wash will then cover the blue. So if I'd used a darker gold, I could then side brush a slightly lighter gold over the top, but that's still doable. I want to try and keep the blue showing through the gold. That's what's creating the difficulty. One thing I wasn't sure of is if his collar was all gold, or if it was red with gold over the top, or if it was dark blue with gold over the top. Looking at Udno, looks like it's dark blue, but he isn't wearing his full dress. He's wearing like a frock coat dress. There's a picture here of a reenactor. Now, he has got epaulets on, and his turnbacks are gold over blue. So I will leave that for now. As you can see, I left the turnbacks. That one there didn't print properly, so that's a little bit annoying, but never mind. It's been blown off in the heat of battle. So what I'll do for now then is I'll do his order here. Now Udno's got this order. Is it gold? One's gold, one's silver. So I'm going to leave that one for now, because the one that's gold is a bit lower down on old Udno. So we'll get some there. If you can hear a humming in the background, that is my the surviving Dreadnought las cannons printing. I'm still annoyed about the failure rate that we're going. We changed a FEP sheet in the last live stream. The next print that came out was some piano miniatures Italians. They came out almost perfectly. The officer's arm didn't print properly, but since then it's been about a 50% strike rate, which is not terrible, but it's frustrating because it should be 100%. That was something else I wasn't sure what colour was the ribbon around the edge of his hat. But Udino shows me that is gold, so thank you, Udino. Good that you're useful for something at last. No, I'm joking. Udino was a pretty good marshal, actually. As the marshals went, he was definitely one of the better ones. As Epic History TV will tell you if you watch their series on the marshals. Right, that's all the gold done that isn't over blue that I haven't painted yet. You know what? I'm going to put that on a little bit thicker there. And this this cord here, I'm going to do that gold as well. Oh, his epaulette as well. So, I mean, this is how stuff gets missed. Because I'm an idiot. It must be... I'm sure it's some form of ADHD or something. We don't make sure we do under the hat. We don't want big white blob sticking out there. His epaulets done. We have to come back with the gold anyway, because as I say, we're going to need to do his cuffs and his turnbacks. Has it been warm enough in the printing room, Tim? It has, Wargaming History. It has. Unfortunately, I can't blame that. It was about, well, outside it was about 18 degrees. Now, the reason that I paint up here is that we've got a big window that the light comes through. So inside it was probably about 22, 23. This is centigrade. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, I'm afraid. So yeah, it was plenty warm. It was just, I've had a couple of tips, and it looks like it's improved this print, but not 100% improved. It looks like this one might be about a 75% success rate. But we're getting there. It's very slowly and surely. This sash here actually has stuff like a texture printed on it, but I'm going to do that red. It's red on Udino, so it's going to be red on this guy. I thought about leaving it white, actually. I think it looks quite cool white, but I don't know. We'll see, because he's currently holding someone's heart, so I'm going to have red coming down the back of his hand as well. So we'll see. I don't want too much red on the model. But his skin also needs highlighting up to be a lot paler than it is as well. But that's, I think he's from Lost Heresy. You can either have him as a zombie or as a vampire. French General. STL. Vampire. French General. STL. It is from... such a cool one. Oh, no, it's from Cool Kiwi Miniatures. So there we are. We're back to Australasia. He is from Cool Kiwi Miniatures, and he comes with the like the cannon barrel that he stood on, which I'm not 100% sure is a great move. But I mean, yeah, why not? It's cool enough. But yeah, he does. He did cruise for a lot of different stuff. His range is called Napoleonic Dread. So he does some cool custom clue markers, and he does British, French, and oh yeah, he does the camels as well. He does file for zombie camels, which I have printed way too many of. So those of you who are not strangers to the channel will know that I actually quite like camels. So yeah, I've got a lot of undead zombie camels. Because who doesn't need zombie camels in their life? I mean, really, I ask you. So yes, these are from the Napoleonic Dread series by Cool Kiwi Miniatures, which are on my mini factory. So go and check them out. Tell them I sent you, because they are very cool. I'm not sure if they're on Etsy. I'm sure they will be. Tactical cannon barrel, G-Dub inspired. Absolutely dead end satellite. I mean, it's just in the middle of nowhere. I guess it's got some cannonballs with it, but yeah, no, it's not the most congruent, is it? Right, so that's enough fun and excitement with... I need to think of a name for him as well. So someone think of a suitable Napoleonic Marshal French vampire name for me. He could be... what's his name from Interview with the Vampire, couldn't he? Lestat. No. Lestat's not the French one, is he? The other one's the French one. Oh, is Lestat the French one? Yeah, no, Lestat is the French one, I think. The Tom Cruise one. I find 25 degrees. You bought a heater. Yeah, I mean, that is a possibility, actually. I might start doing that. Or just not printing in the winter. But yeah, it was pretty warm. Are you going to Eagles and Lions Wargaming 1815 Waterloo game in Nottingham later this year? Well, Tom, the answer to that question is I did not know anything about it. So thank you for bringing it to my attention, because yes is going to be the answer to that one. Eagles and Lions, Nottingham. I didn't know anything about this. Match report Nottingham Wildcats. Okay, that sounds now that sounds like something that I might go to. Napoleonic. I don't know anything about it, buddy. Is there a link that you can send me or something like that? I've tried to Google it, and I'm getting reflection on the end of the Napoleonic Wars. And this article explores Nottingham's commitment to radical politics before 1815, as symbolising its continuing petitioning of Parliament and its patriotic. And that's as far as the Google preview gets me. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. Now, it was one of the things that this is a complete tangent that's done by that, is Marshal de Saint. Oh, yeah, De La Salle. That's a good one. Yeah, that is a good one. £40 for the weekend. Lestat. It is Lestat then. Yeah. 7th and 8th of September. I saw it on Facebook. Right, okay. I shall check it out. But yeah, no, I've just downloaded the Nottinghamshire and the Great Peace, which is clearly someone's essay on how Nottinghamshire responded to the Napoleonic Wars politically. Now, I did hear, I've only read it once, and I can't remember where I read it, so take this completely as hearsay, that when Napoleon came back in 1814, 1815, there was a movement, obviously, to slap him down in Parliament, but there were equally strong voices saying, no, let him have another chance. It's a problem. It's a matter for the French. Let the French deal with it. If they want him back, then they should have him back. And one of the key speakers for the, not necessarily pro Bonaparte, but we've just finished a load of wars, let's not have another one, was a Liverpool MP. And now I heard this when I was in Liverpool. I went to university there. Was a Liverpool MP, and it was actually General Tarleton, who was an MP for one of the wards in Liverpool at the time. And I remember reading his speech, and it was quite a powerful one, actually. But I've only read that once. If anyone knows anything more about that and can point me in a general direction, I will be very interested to read more about sort of British feeling towards Napoleon in 1814. I think the idea, I don't think anyone knew how quickly he would be defeated. I think that came as a bit of a shock, but I can understand why at the time you might not want to get dragged into another continental war when you've just finished one, and you've got trouble brewing at home. So no, I can definitely see both sides of the argument there. At Women's History, I was thinking same lines about Marshal de Saint-Guin. Oh yeah, that's cool as well. Oh yeah, these are good. That's the email on the post about the Waterloo games. Where is that? Wasn't it called Stottingham there? It was called Stottingham at one point, but a bit earlier than that. I think Stottingham was he was like the Viking, wasn't he? Eagles and Lions. Let's have a look on the old Zuck book. Here we are. Right. Eagles and Lions Wargaming. He's got some nice figures on there. Oh, hang on. First things first. Let's give this guy a follow. There we are. His 30 years war stuff looks absolutely gorgeous. Right, okay. Fancy playing Waterloo 1815 in 20 mil, like a Stonewall War Games group. Okay. Nice limited. Martin Cartledge. 6th and 7th of September. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I did not know anything about this, but the answer is yes. I think, James, thank you for that. I will inquire further about it. And from the top of my head, I can't see why not. Yeah, that'd be quite cool. Let me just check the Victrix instructions. Now, these are those of you who haven't had any recent Victrix. You now get them in a bag, like a clear plastic bag. This is the top of the bag, so you can still see the where the staples go on to the top of the bag. And then the building instructions on the back. They are not good. I'm not going to lie, Victrix. Your building instructions suck, but your models are fantastic. So I'll let you off. Now we've got officer. The reason what I'm looking for is officer head. Now I've just painted the officer head is H6, which is not on this sprue, so that's not helpful. That's okay. I've just painted H6, which is a regular head, so that's okay. Obviously, the brass on the officer's helmet is going to need to be gold, which is why I brought the gold up with me. But it also works for French marshals as well. Yes, no, thank you for that, James. That is definitely going into the calendar. I will definitely look into that. I shall mention it to General Dan, but I see no reason why I won't be there. So let's crack on. Now, this is going to be the Trumpeters. TH1 is, according to my thing here, a Trumpeter head. Yeah, Trumpeter head 1, so that would make sense. Now, I'm trying to remember if I had to glue these together. I don't think I did. I think these come as one piece. If I did have to glue them together, sometimes you have to glue like the helmet onto the face. If I did, then I've obviously suppressed that memory in my mind, and it would require like years of therapy to drag that memory out clearly. So I can't remember if I did. In fact, looking at the instructions, it looks like I did have to do that, but I genuinely have no memory of it. I think I genuinely think it might be a repressed memory, which is a little concerning. I'm not going to lie. So here we go. Here, let's do the old chin strap, the scaled chin strap around here as well. I'm really looking forward to getting these done. Actually, these are obviously you want your guard to be your best unit. Well, one of them anyway. I mean, you want all your units to be good, I suppose. But I think the one that's worth putting a bit more time and effort into are the guard. Because they're going to be the ones that people look for and the ones that you want to show off. So, they're like in the Grand Manor. Okay, that's cool. I've not played in the Grand Manor for a long time. I used to enjoy it. All my 50mm stuff's based for in the Grand Manor. I'm currently building the 3rd and 5th Division of Salamanca, by the way. 36 man battalions in the Grand Manor. That's what we like to hear. Yeah, as I say, I used to all my stuff's based for. No, in fact, no, it's not. It's based for. It's based for Bruce Quarry's rules. But I did used to play in the Grand Manor 7 Years War, so the 7 Years War stuff is based for in the Grand Manor. Next, Eagles under Eagles to Glory. I am I was holding out for Hammerhead to announce their date, but I might just go ahead and do one. I've been asked by Boards and Swords about. We penciled in a date for the Epic event. Now that was going to be I might change that to a one-dayer. I'm slightly concerned about the popularity, if it's going to be as popular as the 28mm one. So I don't know yet. I don't know. But that was looking around about October, September time. So again, I might knock that back anyway. or just cancel that for another year. But for Under Eagles to Glory, we're going to be looking around about the first or second weekend of March again. Probably the first weekend. My philosophy is I get paid monthly, and I know a lot of people do. Around about the 28th of the month. So I like to have the weekends on the first weekend of the month, because people still have some monies to spend and enjoy themselves at that time. Whereas I know towards the end of the month, I am normally absolutely brassic. So if anyone else is like me, then that's fine. So 50mm frontage looks better to me than 28mm. Yeah, no, you know what? I actually agree with you on that one, James. I base mine 20mm frontage because I like to show off the models more than anything else. But I agree. I think 50mm does look better. My American Civil War have 50mm frontage, and I think they look really good. So, having now been told about this event, has anyone else got any events coming up? Anything they're planning on going to, apart from Under Eagles to Glory next year, obviously? Because I'm certain I can count on your attendance for that one. That's okay, James. Thank you for watching it. Thank you for jumping in on the live stream, bud. It's I mean, I say I wouldn't do it if people didn't watch. That's not strictly true. Actually, I probably would, but it is much more motivating and much more rewarding if other people get something out of it too. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being part of the family. Big fan of In the Grand Manor, but mostly play General de Brigade or Valor and Fortitude. Now, Valor and Fortitude I haven't played. General de Brigade, I went to an event in York where we used that. No, did we use that? No, we didn't use that. We used Shaco 2, but it had elements of General de Brigade to refight Waterloo. I was nay in that one, so we won, obviously, because I didn't have to roll any dice. That was the most important part of it. They kept me away from the dice, so that's the key. If you want to win and I'm on your side, give me a job that does not involve me rolling dice. Now, those of you who have seen working out best time with big events based on how close to payday, that's 100% it, Luke. You know what? We're all kids at heart, and that is 100% what it is. I forgot what I was going to say now. Yes, no, it's completely gone. It clearly wasn't that important. We did an event at Legendary Wargames near Bradford a few weeks ago, a refight of Salamanca. That's cool. I do like Salamanca. Now, if you saw the lighting game in 6mm, you wouldn't have to build figures. Well, that's true. Yeah, that is true. So, latest year they're doing Dresden. Oh, that's cool. I don't really know much about Dresden. Other than it rained a lot. That's my main knowledge. So, you know what? Actually, I've been painting some epic scale stuff recently. So a bit bigger than 6, but like strips of models, and it is a joy just to be able to paint them up very quickly with no building or anything like that. I'm not going to lie, that is a big plus. So just getting the old trumpeter, getting his trumpet done. Now, something that I've not done either is I've not thrown anyone on the floor in a while, so I've rectified that. Let me get him before I run him over with the chair. There he is. But I've got buttons, and I thought he was going to be lost to the carpet monster then. But I've got buttons and belt buckles to do as well. So I'm just going to use this larger brush to do the bugle. I've gone over the cord there, but that's fine. Paint over that. I assume the bugle cord's red. I'm not 100% sure, but I know they were for a lot of units. I'm not doing in reverse colours either. I wonder if he should be. Oh well, he ain't going to be. So there you go. Oh, Epic 6mm. No, they're yeah, they're sort of 12mm. But which is confusing because Games Workshop Epic is 6 to 8mm. But the trumpet cord is crimson. Well, there you go. Thank you, Clive. There was one of the things where, you know, I don't necessarily research everything. I'm like, well, they're usually red, so I'll just do it red. But with the guard, I want to do a little bit more research than that. So thank you very much, Clive. Right, let's get his buttons done. His belt done. His cuff there, stop him from wiping his nose. And down the seam of his overalls. I've actually done leather reinforcing on the inside of these overalls. I'm not sure how common that actually was on troopers, having just said I want them to be historically accurate. But I suspect that it would be something that you would have on a well-equipped units. And this is the guard, so why the funk not? For small scale opponents, would you recommend Warlord Epic or Pendragon? No, well, now you're putting me on the spot a little bit there because it depends on your painting style. Sorry, it depends on what you prefer. Now, for me, I would 100% recommend Epic from Warlord. Now, that's not because I'm a Warlord chill or anything like that. The reason I would recommend them for me is because they're in those strips. They absolutely suit my painting style. My painting style is just to do, so like I'm doing now, for example, I'm doing all the brass buttons on each individual model. Now, when you're doing that on a strip of models, it's super quick. It's way quicker than doing it on these individual models because you just have the whole row in front of you. You go, boop, 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 boop. Now, I get you can do that if you put the models onto a painting stick or something like that, but I find them a little bit unwieldy. I've got a bunch of Janissaries on one at the moment. So for me, I would go with Warlord Epic. Bacchus is great for 6mm, but they are 6mm. They are quite small, as you would expect 6mm to be. I was looking at their World War One range actually. They are a Sheffield company, so I like to support local companies. I was looking at their World War One range, and I was like, the problem is, at that scale, you're looking to be like a corps commander or something like that. And I've got no interest in being a First World War corps commander. Thank you very much. I think other than a German camp doctor or I can think of a few less roles I would want in the military than a First World War British corps commander. Thank you very much. Collington is the book on the Dresden campaign. Read it many times. I was wondering how warlords sell guns, for example. They charge £80 for a gun and crew. The Perrys. You know what, James? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea, brother. I mean, yeah, the cost of their command groups is absolutely eye-watering, and the quality is very far from the Perrys. Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you, mate. As I say, I am no warlord chill. I wouldn't recommend buying their artillery. Their Russian artillery is quite nice. I will give them that. And a range of figures from them I am looking at the Crimean War. Specifically their Hussars, which look really, really nice. But the British ones. But yeah, no, 18 quid for a cannon, you can't justify it, man. I mean, for the price of 2, less than the price of 2, you can get a bag from Victrix where you get 3 in there. I think 3 or 4. I think it's 3. Yeah. So I mean, and they're plastic. No, they're very, very expensive. Blaze Trail. I've never heard of Blaze Trail. Pendraken are. Oh, right, sorry, no, that's the right. Yeah, sorry, yeah, that's me being stupid. Pendraken are lovely minis. Well, speed painting and basing, plus they're a lot cheaper. I mean, well, that is true. No leather inserts on the overall. Oh, okay, fair enough. That is true. They are cheaper because they're plastic. So there's that as well. Some people don't like plastic. I don't know why, but there you go. Currently planning a peninsula project with 4 60mm bases per unit. Well, that'd be cool. I mean, that'd be huge, huge armies. So that's good. Pete does 10mm as well now. Okay, 10th Legion is what Magister Militum was. Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. I've looked at Magister Militum stuff before because they did Bronze Age figures. But I never actually picked any of their stuff because when I think I asked for some at a show, they didn't have any. So I was like, oh, right, okay, well, fair enough. Oh, Connington's the Gettysburg campaign. Ah, right, okay. I've got the. I'm sure I've got the Gettysburg companion somewhere. It's a bit like the Waterloo companion, but for Gettysburg, obviously. As the name would suggest. I don't get the American Civil War is not really something I know much about, but it's something that I develop I drop in and out of being interested in it. Not because it's not very interesting, but I imagine it's very similar to people who are intimidated by the Napoleonics. It seems to be it's not a big period, but it seems to be so detailed that it's quite sort of intimidating to get into. But the one thing, so again, we're back to Warlord. While I may not shill for their figures, I will die on the hill of their books are spectacular. I think they are some of the best wargaming resources that I've certainly ever read. All right, you might end up with saying, "Oh yeah, Swords Around the Throne is better." Well, yeah, it is, but that's not about wargaming, is it? It's no, their books, and the Glory Hallelujah book, which I have here, is absolutely superb. It's a really, really good book, and it really helped clarify my understanding of the American Civil War. I think it was in there. It was basically saying that it's all about the Union trying to cross the Potomac. That's basically the whole war. I was like, all right, okay, fair enough. I'm sure that's people will say, that's not what it was about at all. But from a someone who doesn't really know much about the grand strategies, that certainly grounded it in a way that I could understand it. So, looks nervous at the Chinese. Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I mean, that's the obvious alternative is printing. I certainly think cannons and artillery are very expensive. I think they're the perfect thing for printing because they also print quite easily as well. The ones that don't, you can have as like broken cannon markers and things like that. So yeah, no, I'm a big fan of printing cannons. How are we getting on? How's the battery holding up? Right, I got 15% battery left, so we might be able to struggle through to 1 o'clock. I hope we can, because these are coming along quite nicely. It's done there. Now he's got 2 buttons on his cuff. Genuinely, these buttons were put there to stop soldiers wiping their nose. There we go. Oh, I missed huge bits on this guy. Oh, I haven't. That's his strap. Oh, okay. Now, I did the end of the strap on the first guy, didn't I? I should probably do it on all of them. I also did the belt buckle, but I'm not going to bother on all of them for that. As you can see, I've not even touched the saber-tash yet. We can worry about that later. I've been looking into some old Donald Featherstone rulebooks on the American Civil War. That's cool. It was certainly one of the big periods when I was growing up. Every wargaming magazine would well, Wargames Illustrated would always have something on the American Civil War in there. So it was definitely something that I knew about, and knew was a thing. I just didn't know anything specifically about it. I agree the Victrix plastic cannons are okay, but still more or less Perry's price. Yeah, that is true. I prefer metal. A job lot of stuff on eBay included the Victrix cannon pack. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Yeah, as you say, they're much of a muchness price-wise. I'm starting to sound like a Perry's fanboy, damn it. Yeah, you know what? It's when I'm doing the start collecting videos, it's yeah, it's really difficult to look past the Perrys. Now, if I say to someone, like, for instance, sake, start collecting Spanish, take your money, divide it by 9.5. That's how many packs of Perrys to buy. That's realistically a really good way of starting a Spanish army. But they, for price versus quality, I don't think there's anyone better in the business. But that wouldn't make a very interesting video, would it? So sometimes you have to. Sometimes I have to be a little bit more inventive than that. But yeah, and that's why sometimes there are periods the Perrys don't cover. Now they've gone into the Revolutionary Wars game, and these periods are rapidly dropping. They don't do any ancients, which is a real shame, I think. I think the earliest they go back is back to the First Crusade. Was it? It may not even be the First Crusade. It might be the Third Crusade. But yeah, that's the earliest they go back to, which is a shame. I'd love to see. I mean, I can't believe they haven't done Imperial Romans yet. But yeah, no, it's all. I mean, again, if they did Trojan Wars, then that would be that would be absolutely amazing. Imagine Perry's Trojan Wars range. I don't think they will do though. For ACW at Grand Tactical level, Altar of Freedom. Yeah, they Dex, one of the guys at the club. He has done two things. He reignited my love of AK-47 Republic, which, if you've not played from Peter Pig, is so there's just a new edition come out, and they've stripped all the fun stuff out because it's politically incorrect. But you used to be able to do like the pre-game political flowchart. It was things like going on to like Western media to say that there was a famine and then stealing all the supplies, or feeding your political opponents crocodiles and things like this. It was super cool, but apparently they've stripped all that out now. But if you could find an original set of AK-47 Republic, like first edition, then that's the one to go for. So yeah, Dex at the club, he's a big AK-47 fan, but he is also a big fan of Altar of Freedom as well. I have found Imperial Romans. Yeah, no, they're nice as well. Yeah, the Foundry do some nice stuff. My Assyrian army is from Foundry, as are my Trojan heroes, actually. They used to do some decent sales, but they don't anymore. So, and my Austrian Hussars are also Foundry as well, from one of their decent sales. There is a company that does second-hand figures though. They've normally got quite a lot of Foundry, so they are out there. I'd love to do a 7 Years' War Russian army using the Foundry range, because they are really nice. Again, I'm pretty sure they're Perrys. I mean, that's another period the Perrys don't do, is the War of the Spanish Succession, actually. I mean, I know they do the stuff that interests them, don't they? So there's no point in me saying, do they really need to do the Third Peruvian Bolivar War or whatever? But Christmas, they do 25% off orders over 250 quid. I mean, well, 25% off 250 quid is not nothing, I suppose. It's what? 50 quid. No, more than that. But still, whew, you buy 400 quid worth for 300 quid. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's having the 300 quid at Christmas, though, isn't it? When I used to hit up Brigade Games for their Cyber Turkey sales, but they're not as good as they used to be. They used to do 20, I think it was 20% off, and international shipping was capped at $20. So that's where the majority of my Ottoman army came from. They do really, really nice sharp figures as well. They do a nice Teresa and an Obadiah and stuff like that. But it packs up to 14 quid from 12. Yeah. You do get 8 models, though, don't you? I think. So the Perrys are what, £9.50 for 6? So that's £1.50 yeah, per model. £14 for 8 is about £1.70. So yeah, they're a little bit more, they're dearer than the Perrys, but they're nice. The problem is they don't match with the Perrys. That is a big old problem. Is they are a lot smaller than the Perrys, to the extent of I don't even think they can be in the same army. They certainly can't be in the same unit. One thing that I bought a job lot of them from eBay, a load of figures, and their drummer I use with the Perrys because he's like a boy. He's that small, which is cool, but he's not supposed to be. He's supposed to be like, a fully grown man. So that is the slight issue. Right. Now, we've done all the brass. We've done the shoes. Let's get them on their horses. Once they're on the horses, I can clip off these areas of sprue, and they'll take up a lot less room as well. So, let's get 3 guys ready to go. I'm not worrying about the bugler at the moment. So I don't want to do the bugler, so he can stand over there. The boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B, and the officer can go over there as well. So the officer's horse and the bugler's horse can go over there. So officer I've given a black horse, the bugler I've given a grey. I'm not sure how much that actually happened in the field, but it's going to happen in my collection. So these guys get clipped off the old frame here. Now you can see there where the sprue was. I've missed the inside of that guy's leg. You can see where the sprue was. So all we need to do is get a little dibble dabble black. Put it on there. Put it on there. There we go. Job's good. Some are £20 for 4 mounted. Yeah, that is expensive for all models. Wasn't expecting you quoting Carter US Marine. Well, man, my yeah. Pop him on it, and he is goodish to go. He's looking at him there though. He still needs a lot of work on him. That's disconcerting. Pop this on there. Oh, the entire Grand Armée. Yeah, that would be cool. I could buy the entire Grand Armée for 250 quid. Well, you could do. Yeah. No, 6mm has a lot going for it. I've recently got back into War Master, which is, again, it's 10mm. So the smaller scale stuff is definitely in my interest zone at the moment. Not quite 6mm, but at slightly larger scales. But yeah, no, just the yeah, no, I'm certainly not against smaller scale games. That is faux shizzle. I'm trying to mix up the riders here. I've got a lot of B3s, These two horses are the same, so I don't want the same rider. I don't want B3 on these two horses. So that's why he's gone on there. This is a B1, so he's going to go on that horse there. And that just helps mix up the unit a little bit. Now I'm going to have one unit charging, and I'm going to have one unit at rest. I'm not sure which way around I'm going to do it yet. The one at rest, the horses are very animated, so they might look a bit silly. So I may end up having 2 units just charging, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, it's bank holiday, so someone's cutting the hedge, of course. There we are. I might have to close the window if this continues. Yeah, no, the Perrys are nice. As I say, I've got their Assyrians. Their chariots are very, very expensive, I seem to remember. I mean, there's no way that you could buy a Assyrian army or like a Trojan army, say a Trojan army or an Egyptian army, from the foundry, because their chariots are just prohibitively expensive. They're, I think they're £24 each now or something. And yeah, say you got an Egyptian army. How many chariots are you going to need? 12? 18? So yeah, no, they used to do like deals. I remember from the Warlord, I got a chariot deal. I think it was 10 chariots for, I think it was about 100 quid, or it might have been less than that, might have been 80 quid. So I've got 10 Warlord games, Assyrian chariots, somewhere. That was from when they bought another company. I prefer 28mm armies, but 6mm is pretty practical. Yeah, that's it. So the old 6mm in the street, in the 28mm in the street, 6mm in the sheets. That's that can say a lot about my life. But yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I love the spectacle 20mm. If you're into stuff like the Grand Manor and things like that, then 28mm is the way to go. The Yorkshire Gamer, he is a man after my own heart, or should I say, I'm a man after his heart. His 28mm Renaissance game that he had at Salute. I've seen it at Leeds Armories. He ran it there as well. It may have been a slightly different game, but I imagine there were many of the same figures. It's absolutely phenomenal, absolutely incredible. There. Tim misspelling in my head is reminding you that the smaller the figure, the larger the scale. Well, that's true, actually. Yeah, okay, yeah, I guess so. Yes, I should say. Yes, no, you're right. You're right, because it's yes, because it's larger scale battles, and like the number of the figures is larger as well. I don't know what is 6mm. Is that 1/300th, isn't it? Is 6mm. Because on my Cold War stuff's all 1/285th. British Cavalry should be charging to glory. Yes, they should, unless I roll dice like I did in the games against General Dan, which both of which are now live on the channel. I can assure you, I went to a Lord of the Rings event this weekend. I can assure you, I am no longer rolling dice like I did in those 2 games against General Dan. My dice have gone back to their usual horrendousness. So, yes, no, it was more successful than the last Lord of the Rings event I went to. I won 2 and lost 3 this time, whereas in the last one I lost all 6, and I not only lost all 6, I got absolutely thrashed in all 6. But this time it was a little bit better. It was one of the losses was very close, and the other loss was to a guy who finished, I think, 4th or 5th. So it wasn't too bad. So now, as some of you who were asking about the painting them on the sprue can see, I'm not using plastic glue here. I'm gluing them on with super glue, which doesn't form as strong a bond, but it works. I mean, because I'm scraping the paint off, but there is still going to be an element of paint to paint that's gluing on. But so plastic glue won't work with that. But I don't mind using super glue, because it means that if there's pressure on the figure, the figure's probably just going to ping off the horse rather than snap, and that's a much easier replacement than if he snaps. So I don't mind doing that at all. In the cavalry game, yeah, mate, I've never had dice like that. That was a unique experience for me. Both, I don't know if you've seen the meme where it's like Hammond from Top Gear, and he's like looking like slightly confused that he's like in trouble with Clarkson and James May. That the sort of the dice were Hammond, and me and Dan were Clarkson and James May, because we just could not believe what was going on. Yeah, those are some crazy dice. If I hadn't filmed it, I don't think anyone would have believed it, that I've actually managed to roll some sixes. But no, they were really, really good fun games. And those of you who've not seen it, it was basically two games we had, very small games, where we had just cavalry. There was a couple of cavalry clashes in the Peninsular War in the Retreat to Corunna campaign, and they were over pretty quickly. It probably took the two videos combined are just over an hour, so the games probably took us about 2 hours to play, both of them. And yeah, it was fun. We introduced a special rule that was, as happened in the real battle, the French cavalry actually received the British cavalry at the halt, fired their carbines. Now, it didn't go well for them in history. How did it go in the game? Well, you'll have to watch the battle report to find out. But it was an interesting special rule. Maybe not one I'd put in the game at all times, and not one that is super, super effective most of the time. Spoiler alert. But it was definitely fun for that scenario. Yeah, well, I think it did, and thank you. Yeah, no, it was fun to make as well. It was Dan's idea actually, that we do it, and yeah, I'm saying that not to blame him, but to say I think it was a really good idea of him to suggest that we do those battles. From a stats point of view, it was a 1 in 10. Yeah, absolutely, it certainly was for me. The second game with the guard was good as well, because as you could see, the guard were not 100% finished. I thought they were similar to these. I thought I'd done more on them than I had, but it was nice to bust them out and get them on the tabletop, even not 100% painted. I mean, I absolutely hated painting them, and it's made me want to go back and finish them off. So that's a positive thing. Unfortunately, at the moment, I am going absolute ham on my Dark Angel army that needs painting, but. Yeah, no, I'm definitely keen to get back into the chasseurs. In fact, I was even looking at getting the Perry's deal that comes with Marbo. So I may end up going for that and buying 3 boxes of chasseurs, which could always be used for something else, I'm sure. They can always find their way into the Italian army. I don't know, in fact, does Piano Miniatures do French chasseurs? I don't know. If they do, I'll have them, because I've backed all these Kickstarters. But they're never at the front of the queue for printing. Let's be honest, they're chasseurs, aren't they? So I've got 4 more to go. So here we are. So this will be the 10, and then I've got the officer and the bugler separately. I could probably do the bugler actually, to be fair. But the officer, his horse still needs quite a bit of work on it, so I'm not going to glue him on there. Just because it'll make getting in and around the Shabrak a bit more difficult. Oh, no, that's on the wrong pile. That one. So let's get the bugler done. I gotta say, for me, the spectacle of the entire army of several corps over miles of terrain 60mm can't be beaten by smaller scale battles. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I mean, yeah, they certainly can look very impressive. And as I said before, what I like about 6mm is when you base them, you can base them in their historical formations. It gives you a really good idea of how the units would have fought and operated. That's particularly true of things like, again, go looking at ancients. Something like the Republican Roman manipular system, the triplex Acis, or Acis, I guess it would be. Acis, Acis. I don't know. It's Latin, not Greek, so probably Acis. But or the fact that you've got 2 squadrons, one behind the other, with officers in between and things like that. That's what I really like about 6mm. I think you can get that on there. I think 10mm gives you the opportunity to do that to a lesser extent, but you can still do it. So, for instance, the Warlord Games Epic range for the Romans, you can have like a Roman camp, which you can have on your command bases and things like that, which I think is pretty cool. At 28mm, you know I love my vignettes, but they are a little bit difficult to work in unless you're playing on an absolutely massive table, in which case they're good. Hello, Gruesome Dread. We are doing some British household cavalry today, although we are going to be knocking it on the head in about 15 minutes, I'm afraid. Yeah, I thought they were a lot more painted than they are, so that's why we were doing these. But it turns out they still need quite a bit of work on them. We also reviewed, James, if you want to go back after this, we also reviewed some loot that I've acquired from Temu, which is pretty cool, actually. I was pretty pleased with it. Mostly. I was pretty pleased with it. The big poster, the whole reason I bought them in the first place, though, that was entirely unusable. I had to go to the bin, so that was a shame. But by and large, no, it was a pretty good haul. I also got a big blanket as well that has the map of Middle Earth on it, so that was cool. I've been painting some casualties and a French Dragoon command. Very good. And Wellington, Uxbridge, and Picton. Oh, is that the Perry set? That's a really good set, that one. I'm pretty sure the triple line thing was only for forming up. Yeah, possibly. Maybe, because there is some talk about it being a checkerboard. There is other talk about it being like a front line. But certainly the Triarii would be behind. I mean, well, the name Triarii means the third, obviously. And they would definitely be behind the fighting line. There was an old Roman saying, which was, if something comes down balls to the wall, then it has come down to the Triarii, was how they would say that. So they would clearly, I mean, the whole kneeling down thing, it's possible. It wouldn't surprise me. But, yeah, so that was a thing. So, yeah, presumably they would be held back as a reserve. Otherwise, that saying would make no sense at all. But, what am I doing? So yes, no, I don't know. Yeah, it's alright, Jed. I don't know what you mean. So yeah, no, it's an interesting thing because we don't have that many sources for it. But one thing that I have found in recent years, in particular, is that the ancient sources are often just completely disregarded. Oh yeah, that's just Herodotus saying that for making it up or whatever. But as time goes on, the ancient sources are being proved more and more correct. That stuff wasn't as there's more crazy stuff than going on back then than we thought there was. These are Victrix, Gruesome Dread. These are the where's the front of the pack? Here we go. These are British Household Cavalry, 1812 to 15. Which you can make either the blues from, which I have done. Where are we? I shall quickly flash those before your eyes. So these are the horses and the men for the blues. Maybe these I've done more. I don't think so, though. I thought it was the lifeguards. Yeah, no, I've not done their straps or anything. But while we're here, what have we got? We got 10 more minutes, so we got time. We got plenty of time. I could put these to one side. And what we'll quickly do is we'll quickly do the brass on these. In fact, no, we won't do the brass on these guys. I'll do the bread bags on these guys. The reason I'm not doing the brass is because I haven't done the white straps yet. So I'll say the white stripes then. I've certainly not done the white stripes. Little Wars TV, Age of Hannibal are great rules for Rome and give good extras for the maniple formation. Okay, that's cool. I've struggled to find a set of rules that does the maniples in a way that I am happy with. Now, that may be because my interpretation of it is wrong. But you know, I've got in my head how I think it would operate, and I've yet to see a set of rules that does that well. So maybe that's what I've been looking for. My latest loot came from a house that was having some building work done, demolition concrete. Okay, well, fair enough. I mean, free is good. I hope there's no asbestos in there. I'm sure there isn't, but yeah, just keep an eye out for that. I have to go clean some gutters for my father, but thanks again for the content and maybe see the water. Well, hopefully, yeah, I'm certainly going to look more into it. Thank you for making me aware of it, because I used to do like news segments, but I was missing so much. I thought it was a bit of a cheek for me. But no, thank you very much for being here, James, and we'll see you soon, buddy. So yeah, all I'm going to do now is we're going to finish this off today. I'm going to do about 10 more minutes. I've got these bread bags we're going to do here. So as you can see, there's large parts here that I've missed. So these still need quite a bit of work doing on them. But they're going to need the bread bags painting at some point, and I've got the paint here with me. So we may as well crack on with it. For linen, I like to use Wraithbone. That's the Games Workshop base colour that you're supposed to use to paint the contrast paints over. But I just find it's a really nice, like a skeleton bone would be the other colour I'd use, or possibly not Zandri dust, the one that's slightly lighter than that, Karak stone, something like that, just to do the linen. I think it looks quite good. Facing some games next week with local group. Well, one guy, possibly some Anglo-Russian invasion. No, the Anglo-Russian, yeah, they're cool, man. So I've only just found out about that. That's a new, exciting new area for me, that one. Right, now I've got these in the big bag, but they're separated from the lifeguards in the little bag, because otherwise when it's night time they'll fight each other, won't they? So because obviously everyone's wargaming figures come to life at night and fight each other. So we'll pop them in there, and then we'll crack on with these. Again, the bugler. Have I missed? Yeah, I've missed. Why? How have I missed here? Honestly, I don't know. Right. Now, in my defense, he is a musician, and I hate painting musicians, so that might be why. Which is obviously why I bought the French Imperial Guard band. I hate painting musicians, so I spent a lot of money on a bunch of them. Yes. I've made a board with Salamanca Styrofoam. Oh, fantastic! Oh, that's cool. I've just ordered some MDF sheets myself, actually, to start making some terrain. Oh, that's very cool. It's a good battle, Salamanca, I think, because it's one that the English did absolutely thrash the French there. But if a few things had gone the other way, it would have been a lot tighter. I'm not sure the French had much chance of winning it, but they could have fought a lot better than they did. You've got part of the Arapils and part of the ridge. Oh, fantastic! Someone earlier on was saying they've got they're doing the 3rd and the 5th division from Salamanca, which are the 2 divisions. Well, I've got the 3rd division, not because I did it on purpose. I just sort of did the units I wanted to, and they mostly ended up being the 3rd division ones. So that's good. The problem is we only have small armies, so 1 unit represents a division. Yeah, I mean, well, you know, you can get there with them. I mean, so something that you can do is just have smaller units. So if you've got units of, say, 36, you could have units of 24, or you could go even smaller than that. You could have units of 12, or even of 8 if you wanted to, depending on the size of your board. If you wanted to do the whole thing, But yes, no, I mean that's something like Salamanca. Really, you would expect to be like a club project where everyone brings a division or something like that to do the whole thing. It's very impressive and it's very admirable. But yes, I can see why it would take a long time to get all of that together. Something that you could do if you can still find them is play Blucher with the terrain, and then when the cards get turned over, because in Blucher you start like face down, so your opponent doesn't know what units are what. When they get turned over, you turn over and you could stick some models on the card. I've seen that done, and that works quite well. Now, I'm also, as I'm doing the bread bags, I've just noticed that there's a head there as well. So let me go back and do any faces. As I say, this Wraith Bone's really designed to be the base coat for contrast paints. Now, the Wraith Bone, if you're doing flesh, you have to paint them this bone coloured first, because otherwise they come out really pale. Which is cool if you're doing like vampires and stuff. And I've shown off my Napoleonic martial vampire, Marshal Lasang. This is very cool. But the yeah, so he was. I think he was done over this Wraithbone as well. He looks a little bit too healthy, to be honest. So I'm gonna have to go back in and highlight his face quite extreme to make him look a lot less healthy, because he's a vampire. 10x4 with 2x5 squares. That's cool. From the top right of the scenario I'm at. I hope to get 3rd French Division someday. 3rd British Division, and probably a French Division opposing them. Painting 64 French Cuirassiers. Now that is a weekend, sir. I'm impressed. That's a lot of Cuirassiers. That's like 2 units for the in the Grand Manor, though, isn't it? One of the problems I've seen within the Grand Manor, I've seen it in a couple of wargaming shows, is because the armies are so big, they take a lot of time. People don't spend the time on the terrain. So I've only ever seen in the Grand Manor played on terrible terrain boards. Yeah, no, it's a cool set of rules. I'm a big fan. 6 mil brigades on my base unit for my ACW, so large formation, the standard set. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. I mean, the French 7th Division from Salamanca might be the funnest for opposition for the 3rd. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. It's got a bit more about it. Yes, but there we are, chaps. I am gonna knock it on the head. We've got quite a lot done today. We've got the guys based up. Oh, well, mounted up. Sorry. So that's what I was looking for. I did actually bring some bases up to get them based on there, but we've not quite got that far. I thought they were a lot more painted than they are, actually, so that's a bit disappointing. But oh well, never mind. They'll be based on 25 mil frontage, 50 mil depth, something like that. And then, yes, I think I am going to have them charging. They're leaning forwards as well, aren't they? So, yeah. Well, yeah, no, yes. No, I mean, the sort of the ambushing part of it. We actually fought the Battle of Salamanca. It's on the channel somewhere. We did the 3rd Division attack on the French. But, yes, that's it, chaps. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out. It's been... yeah, it's been good fun. Thank you very much for spending your bank holiday with me. I will be... Those for the Leeds Museum, there's 4. Ooh, blimey, Charlie. Okay. Thank you very much for hanging out and giving up some of your bank holiday. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. I'll certainly try and do a live stream on Wednesday. I can't see why I shouldn't be able to, but these things come up at work, like I did last week, which is a bit of a shame. But hopefully I shall see you then. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.